What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. I know with all this COVID stuff going around and self-isolation and not being able to actually go out and do a lot of the things that we're just normally used to doing. Today I'm going to be bringing a simple tutorial for those of you that are looking to start your first YouTube channel or have already started your first YouTube channel but are looking for a way of editing your videos. Now, obviously when starting your first YouTube channel, you have a few things that you kind of have to contend with. One being equipment, two being audio, and the third being obviously editing all that once you get all that together. Now, obviously, there's a lot of videos out there that kind of show you how to do it with like a Premiere Pro and with iMovie, but I thought I would change up my video a little bit because there's actually an in between the two. iMovie is pretty simple, easy to use. So obviously if you have some knowledge in video editing, you're not really going to want to use iMovie, whereas those, when it comes to Premiere Pro, it seems like it's more of a massive program to learn how to use, especially when you want to learn how to do all the effects that you see. But obviously learning that takes a little bit of time, and some people don't really want to start, from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. They want to start from A, B, and C. So today I'm going to show you a program that I use quite frequently, and it is known as Adobe Premiere Rush. I actually learned of this program back when I attended VidCon in 2018. Now, it is an Adobe program, so there is a little bit of a fee that comes along with it. It is pretty inexpensive. I'll have a link in the description on how much the actual subscription cost for it, but it is a highly good program. I highly recommend this program because, again, pretty much all my videos that I use, or that I should I say that I edit with Adobe Rush, as well as even on my iPad. I use Adobe Rush on my iPad. It's a free program to download, but it does require a monthly or yearly subscription fee, but it's definitely worth it, as you can also edit on your iPad with it as well as on your iPhone. Obviously, you have other choices out there. You have Premiere Pro, you have DaVinci, and you have LumaFusion. And there's nothing wrong with those programs. Again, they are pretty big, massive programs, so it does require a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to that. Obviously, when it comes to video editing, you want to start off with something simple and then work your way up, and as you gain more knowledge, then jump into like either Premiere Pro or the before mentioned other video editors. So we're going to get started with showing you Adobe Rush, and I'm going to show you how I edit my videos. And I'm just going to do a quick edit on one of the videos that I didn't post, and just kind of show you some of the cool features that you can use with this. And it's a pretty simple program, again, and I'll have a link in the description on where you can get this program. So let's get started. Are now in the Adobe Rush program. These are all the videos that I have made, and I strictly use Adobe Rush. I use Premiere Pro every once in a while, but I like to use Premiere Rush because it's a little bit more easier to use and it's quicker. So I'm just going to kind of go over the layout of how this looks and what each of these little symbols means for these videos. Now, for most of my videos, sometimes I don't download them to my computer. I usually just leave them in the Creative Cloud suite, which is basically what you get when you sign up for Adobe, whether you're doing the yearly subscription or the monthly. As you can see right here, this little cloud, that basically means that this video is saved into the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So if I want to do any editing to this and I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, I can't do that because it's obviously stuck in the cloud and I need Wi-Fi connection to do that. Whereas on this one, you see a cloud and what looks like a little computer. That basically means that this video is located on my local hard drive as well as in the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So anything that I make in terms of edits on the computer, it's automatically uploaded into the cloud, and I can do this vice versa no matter how I do this. But just to give you a heads up on that, if you do any video editings and you want to keep them on your local computer, it's best to save them locally. That way, when you are on an airplane or someplace where there's no Wi-Fi access, you can still edit it. And then when you're done, simply disconnect to Wi-Fi, upload it to the Adobe Creative Cloud, and then work on it later on at your leisure. So that's basically what those mean. Now over here on the side to the left is create a new project. Obviously, if you're looking to create your first video, you simply click on that. You got the help button that basically it just shows you if you have any issues with the program or you're not understanding what some function is, then you can simply click on that. Then you have the learn. This is basically just kind of a learning different functions of Adobe, newer things that are being added to Adobe almost, depending on how often they do their updates. You would click on that. You can learn a few things about, say, you want to learn Adobe Pro, Premiere Pro, and you want to learn some of the functions on that, and you click on that. And community, it's just basically like a forums for Adobe. That's all that is. So here you can sort by date modified, or you can do by project name. Typically, if you don't name it, then it's just going to do by basically the date you added to the video. So I've already got a video that I'm going to be editing, which is basically the video that I'm doing right now. So we're going to tap on that. And then this is what your video is going to look like when you upload it. This is just what's known as your workspace. And I'll just kind of go briefly over some of the features that it has. So right here in the bottom, this is where your whole video is going to go. So when you're done recording your video and you want to upload it and you want to edit, this is known as your workspace right here. Everything that you need to do will be right here. Now on the top left-hand corner, that's the home. That's basically where you go back in and it shows you all the videos that you uploaded to the Premiere Rush that you have access to. Edit, obviously this is the edit screen, and then share. This is where you go to share your videos once you're done editing it. You can save the finished version on your local drive, or you can not save it and then just upload it directly to YouTube. Now, if you do it directly to YouTube, you want to make sure that you have your password and your username ready, as if you're signed out, you're going to have to sign in with this in order to do that. If not, then make sure you have that information available when you do it. Now from here, you can simply just place it in a playlist if you want to, or just not leave it in the playlist. I usually tend to not leave it in the playlist until I've uploaded it to YouTube. That way I can decide what I want to put it on, because you can only select one playlist from here, whereas on the YouTube version, on the YouTube web version, you can just simply add it on multiple playlists. Obviously, it's the title sequence, name your video, the description of your video. The privacy, I usually like to keep this on the private, because when I go into YouTube and I want to add like an info card or add an edit scene to this beyond what I already have on the video, it's a lot easier for me to do that in private. That way, if I upload it publicly, then it's just going to upload what I have right then and there. I don't want to do that. I tend to like to add a little bit more stuff to it, so I leave it on private. And then I can do the scheduling, which means you basically can schedule your video to come up at a certain time. I usually like to do all that on the YouTube web version. And then here's where you really want to pay attention to how you're what you're using your video format in. So advanced settings, basically is in the bottom. You simply click on that, and it depends on the resolution on how you are shooting your videos. Since I'm doing this directly from the iMac, it's only going to be a resolution of 1080. But if this was done through my DSLR, my Panasonic, then it would be in 4K, as I shoot everything in 4K, and it would be in like a 24 frame a second. So simply what I do is I just come in and I just switch it to 1080, and then I use the frame rates at 60. Usually sometimes it would be at 59.94. Not exactly sure why it does that, but I just put it in the 60 frames just to be on the safe side. And the audio channels I usually leave, and the quality I usually leave those in their default. Now we're going to go back into the edit, and I'm just kind of show you some of the features that you get and how to use those. If you want to add media that you want to introduce to your video that you didn't have in the video, you simply hit on the add media, click media, and then depending on where you have your media saved, if you have it on a external hard drive, you just simply tap on the media browser and it will show you everything that you need to look at to find it. So if you have it on an external hard drive, depending on what you name it as, you simply would click on that, and you would just drop and drag that to that, and then that's how that works. And then if you want to add, say, voiceover, basically what the voiceover does is allows you to mute the audio on your video, and if you want to go into a more descriptive way of talking about your video, then that's how you would overlay that over your audio. So we're going to exit out of that. And then down here at the very bottom, we're going to have what's known as the trimming. Basically what that allows you to do is it allows you to cut out different portions of your video that you don't need in there or that you feel are irrelevant to the video. So say I want to click out this portion of my video, this first, say, 5 seconds, as you can see right there with the 5 seconds. Say I want to cut out this whole first 5 seconds. I would simply click on this, then it brings me to that. Then I can easily just bring that down. And then as you can see, I can either delete this or get rid of it. And then now all I have is just this piece right here. Now, if you make a mistake on a video and you didn't mean to click out or basically clip a video, if you go up to the top right hand corner right here where it says undo, simply tap on that multiple times until you get to the portion where you made the mistake and wanted to rectify that. That's what that is for. As you can see, it basically put back every clip that I had that I accidentally might have wanted to not get clipped out. And then from there, the duplicate, from what I understand, it's just basically just duplicate your video. I've never used it. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's not a function that I use. Obviously, delete. This is known as the expand audio. So we basically would tap on this, and as you can see, all this down here is your audio. So say you are making the intro portion of your video, and you want to basically get rid of all the kind of non-talking. What you would do is you would use the slider button right here. This allows you to expand your video to the point where you can see where the audio, where there's like any dead spots or any blank spots, and you can kind of correct that with that option. So as you can see for me right here, I've already actually done this already. So basically I would just click on it, and then it would allow me to bring up to that part where there's no blank spots, and then it goes directly into me speaking. So instead of me in my intro video just sitting there and then going doing into my intro, I basically just brought that further up. So when I hit the start button, it goes directly into me speaking. That's what the audio expand does. Is it allows you to see it allows you to see where your audio is at and where you want to clip out certain clips if you don't feel you need those anymore. And then this is known as the tracks. You click on that, it gives you additional tracks to add more media to your video. So this is basically one whole track. Now say I want to bring this up and bring it to the front of my video, and I want to turn it into an intro video instead of an exit. Simply would click, highlight it, drag it all the way to the front, and then I would just insert it in the front, and then that's how that works. Or if I want to leave it up in the top, I would do that, and then it would kind of be like it would be an intro, but it would overfade my video, and then it goes directly into my video. But that's basically what the adding the extra tracks allows you to do. And beyond that, there's the voiceover again, as I mentioned. You can mute and then do the voiceover, or you can lock the track. That way it doesn't, you can't move it whatsoever. If you want to add something else, you have to add stuff to it on the top or on the bottom, but you could not move the whole track itself. Now we're going to go into the other functions here on the left hand side. I'm sorry, the right hand side. This is titles. So basically what this is what I have on the end. This is a title screen. Basically allows me to use this as either an end title, or I can use it as the beginning of my video, kind of an intro. But that's basically what that has, or that's what that does. So this is basically what you would get with your Premiere Rush. Now there's more that you can get depending on how you want to do your intros and outros. But if the more that you want in terms of titles, some of them are only available through Premiere Pro. Some are just strictly allows you to do both. It really depends. Usually you'll be able to, you usually know because it'll give you like a little what's known as a license and download. It'll usually tell you this is only available on Pro. So if you don't have Pro, then you either can go with something different or just go back and buy the Adobe Pro or Premiere Pro. But that's basically all these are, just titles, and you can kind of search through these. The next up would be the transition. Basically, it's just nothing more than a fade in, fade out. So depending on how you have your videos, if you want to do from one scene to the next, and it's not an outro video or an outro exit, you can just transition between one, instead of just cutting off from scene to scene. It just transitions from one scene to the next, so it kind of just fades it in. So say I want to fade in, instead of just going from this to this, I would simply just drop and drag that in between that. And then as you can see, I can expand that if I wanted to, depending on how I want to do that. And then as you can see at the end, right here, see how it fades in to my outro. That's basically all transitions does, is it allows you to fade in or fade out, depending on how you want to do your videos. Now the next one after this one would be the color corrections. I don't really use this, as it's not something I really, most of my videos that I do are mostly indoor, so there's not a lot of light that requires me to have to kind of go into this. But depending on how you're doing your video, so you wanted to do any color grading, these are just presets And then at the bottom, you have your intensity. You can either do more or less, depending on how you want to do it. And if you don't want to do anything, you just simply click the none. So that's how that works. Then you have the speed. Basically what speed is, it's just a fancy way of saying time lapse. So you can either speed up certain portions of your video to make it look like a time lapse, or slow it down to give it more of a kind of a cool cinematic look. That's all that does. Then you have your audio functions where you can auto volume your videos so it doesn't sound like it's super loud. It just equals out the volume. You can balance out the sound. You can reduce the background noise. Basically what this does is, say you're filming in an area it's quiet, but it's not as quiet as you want it to be, and you still hear a lot of background noise. You can simply just highlight that, and then you can turn up the intensity of the blocking out or turn it down depending on how you want to do that. And then the echo, basically that just depends on how you are doing your voicing. So say you're speaking and you get like a lot of echo in your voice or a lot of echo around, then you simply would highlight that, and then you can either jack it up so that it sounds a little bit more, not muffled, but it reduces a lot of the echo background, or you can basically put it set to 0, which basically means you just don't want it on in the first place. So that's how that works. And that is pretty much how you would work Adobe Premiere Rush. And again, it's a simple program. It's just one step below Premiere Rush, or I'm sorry, one step below Premiere Pro. You don't have to worry about a lot of the advanced features. It's just a simple, quick edit, get it what you need to get done, and then upload it, and then go from there. So one more feature that I guess I forgot to mention is the crop and rotate. This is basically allows you to crop your videos depending on how you want to do it. If I wanted to cut off some of the top of my video, simply would tap on that, and I would scroll to a point where I felt it was okay that I didn't need to put that in, and it goes to either the bottom, left, or right. And then there's the edge feather, which kind of gives it kind of a weird like feathering effect around the ends. I'm not exactly sure why anybody would do that. I've never really done it myself. It's not a big thing to me, but it's there nonetheless. So that's basically, again, how you would use Adobe Rush. Again, it's a simple program. It is a paid program. So depending on how you want to do it, whether you want to do it by year or by month, it is a pretty robust program, considering it's only like a $10 program, and it allows you to do a lot of the features that you would find in Premiere Pro without having to use all that overwhelming extra stuff. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If this video was helpful, hit that thumbs up. Hit the bell notification, that way you don't miss content when I drop it. And again, my name is Black Appeal, the Apple Guy. Have a great week.